It's going to wow. Oh man. Crazy light. High output. Step on the brake. Turn left. Okay. Ready?
And
wait. Yeah, that would be really. Turn left. Whoa! Is it a lock rear?
Here's a little bit shorter, yeah.
No, I'm sorry, mine's 25. My off-road was a 25.
So your off-road are 24?
25.
It'll be up there all right.
Actually, yeah, that looks like your bolt pattern done that.
That'll be fun around here. I can't wait.
Both those spots there are going to have to be kind of at least sanded. And
I brought a wire wheel brush. I couldn't find another one, but I brought one.
Yeah, so we got to clean those up. So obviously so this side looked good. If you remember this, I mean, it looked better than that side. Okay,
but it's not.
It was actually a lot worse. So what they had done was covered it with Bondo, and then they filed it down real nice. So there's actually just big holes in the metal. So the only thing was
Gotcha.
So that's anyway. I got all of that. There was a hole right here forming. I'm going to remove the. As we talked about,
We're going to do a single center.
Yeah, single center. So I got that cut. Haven't found any other real. I mean, we've got some holes here. As we talked about before, these are going to be filled. So I might actually kind of fill this with some aluminum or metal as well, so nothing can get down in here. Even because there's a bunch of pockets. There's rust holes up under here.
Yeah, where the stuff's flowing through.
So yeah, how it kind of works by design, right? It pushes air down in here, but also pushes any kind of debris. It gets stuck in these corners, and then it just kind of rusts all out. So we'll go ahead and kind of address that. You've seen the floorboards, so all that's been fixed. So just now I'm just starting to patch all of these little smaller holes, and then we'll start laying in the what do you call it, tubing, to stiffen this whole thing up. This will all be, as we talked about, we'll have a nice tubes across here, tubes across there,
stiff
triangulation, so we'll get this really stiff. That'll tie it, because the bottom's actually very stiff. This is really stout. We'll just tie the top into the bottom and make this thing a lot stiffer up front.
Nice.
That should handle quite a bit better than the original one, especially with all the other parts you've got coming. So yeah, so that's kind of where it stands with the dismantling. So we just got to get this down.
We'll get all that out today, and then I brought my
now you can, I don't know if you want to go in here.
So for those of you not following along, this is the old HVAC unit, which we're taking out. It's like a 3-piece heater cord, a bit of a pain in the ass. And the AC compressor we've already pulled out, which is kind of ginormous. Going with the vintage air system is going to reduce some of the space and the weight. And then we put that 24 valve in the front. We set that AC compressor up in the front. It's just going to be a lot more clean, a lot more efficient.
Yeah, and a lot more efficient, because that'll be the newer Freon, and it's just serviceable too. I mean, as that thing ages, vintage air has got, these, lots of easy parts for these things to get. So
nice.
So we'll use this as a mock-up, and we'll make sure we get proper placement of that. And you'll go to vintage air and start looking at the actual outlets.
Unit.
Yeah. Well, the actual outlets and the controls. They make them in a couple, aluminum and those.
I think aluminum. I think billet aluminum and some of that stuff in here would go really good. If we're going to redo the dash and go glass and everything, I think the billet just, we want that retro European Euro trash. Did I say that out loud? Kind of feel to it.
So yeah, so that's what. So you got, so just so you're aware, so when you're speccing that out, basically the way this normally works is you got one for the left, one for the right, and then this is usually put into a Y, and so you got two more in the center.
Okay.
And these are two defrosters, and then your heat comes out the bottom.
Awesome.
And then you just kind of put some ducts on that as well. So no big deal there. So yeah, so we're getting almost out of this dry zone. Started looking at the back a little bit. Obviously, you got a little bit of rust there.
Yep.
It also feels a little bit worse, to be honest with you. Okay. There feels like some Bondo up under this ledge. So we're going to need to look at that pretty soon.
He's doing an aluminum radiator with the fan set up, so we'll get that. And it's probably going to take 4 to 6 weeks for it all to get here because it's coming by boat. Okay. But we get all that, we can get the fan you know, or the new radiator setup. I think it's a standard drop-in. I have to take the housing off the front of the 2.5 liter, replace it on the that's the only thing we have to do, by the way. It's a 3 liter. I'll probably take that off, sandblast it up real good, you know, clean it up. I won't paint it or anything, but we'll get that all cleaned up.
Yeah. So this is your antenna, radio antenna.
Yep.
They don't work all that.
It's coming off. We're not doing that. I'll pull that out. We're not going to do it on the setup in here. You know, we're going to go with the glass dash. We're going to put the double DIN unit in there, and then we'll probably run an antenna. You know, somewhere inside the car.
Well, you can one of those, you get those like Volkswagen antennas from that they go on the roof. They're real small.
Yeah, with the pop-up.
Yeah, so those actually function. These not so much. I mean, they function, but you got to be pretty close to the radio station.
Yeah,
so,
I'm not.
So
I never listen to radio. I mean, honestly,
yeah, I know.
Like I have radio in the car, but I mean, I'm on. You know, I've got the phone with media and everything else.
Yeah,
there.
I figured.
This insulation, when we get this set up and done, we're going to do a couple things inside the engine compartment here. So number one, we're going to come in here and do paint. So we're going to paint some of this. But the other thing we're going to do is we're going to line the inside of the engine compartment with that gold heat reflective tape that so many people are doing. So give a little bit of accent color to the car for some of the stuff that we're doing. So that's kind of our plan inside of here, but I love, you know, coming back on this and going with a cleaner metal look, I think is a much better way to do a lot of this. And you'll see as we pull all this garbage out, you know, how much the engine compartment, just getting rid of this little bit of junk, just absolutely gets cleaned up. I will say this, we found the right guys for this work. So Brian Dent and I met Brian at Caffeine and Octane here in Atlanta, and the car behind me, there's an engine here, there's a transmission gearbox. The car behind me, he just had the frame rail at Caffeine and Octane, and what caught my eye as I was walking by, and I saw the gearbox, and the gearbox had Audi Lamborghini stickers on it. So it was a R8 transaxle on this frame that he had built. He had custom built the frame himself, and I got to talking to him, and you know, evil mad scientist. He was, you know, my level of conversation was here, and his was up there somewhere. So I was way in over my head talking to the guy, but lo and behold, ended up by looking for somebody to help me with the Alfa project, and I came across his son, Cameron, and they came over to the house. We had a long sit down and talked about kind of what we wanted to achieve on this project. And I was blown away how lockstep we were. Like, just, you know, we kind of all had the same vision in mind on this car. So from my standpoint, it was like a no-brainer, and you can see the work that they're doing here. And we've gone through pictures of mock-ups and stuff, and they don't know all the parts that I bought. So I've been picking up parts like crazy from some really good friends, you know, that I made along the way on the Alfa community. But I have to say that, you know, we have conversations, and we're always in sync. You know, I feel like I work with people a lot of times where you just have a failure to communicate, and I don't have that here. So they're in the process of getting the shop started. We tag them in all the videos that we're doing. If you're local here to Atlanta, you know, and you're looking at customization on things that you're doing in fab work, these are the guys. We're gonna come over here one day and shoot and talk about them and some of the projects that they have going on, and give a tour around the shop, because I don't think people realize that these people exist in the Atlanta community, and the things that they're able to do are just off the charts. As a matter of fact, they had a car that was somewhat showcased on some work that they did for Fuel Tech 2 months ago at Caffeine and Octane. There was a F355 for sale here locally. Needed a lot of work. It was like 35 grand. I saw it. I started to make an offer on it, and before I get over and look at it, it was bought. And turns out it's bought by the guys at Fuel Tech, and Anthony here, and he'll be tagged in this. I'll have him come over and say hi in a minute. But Anthony actually built a bunch of carbon fiber parts that went on that car. They put a turbo kit on it. They put a Fuel Tech engine management system in, and all the carbon fiber stuff is stuff that Anthony did. It's kind of off the charts. I think Cameron designed it, a part of it, and then Anthony did the rest. And you know, these guys are working 7 days a week in this car stuff, and I hope they stick with it. They say sometimes, work, can be a drag. I've been working for years, and there's still days that I wake up that every day seems net new, and I just hope it's that way for them, because the stuff that they do is amazing. You don't find people that are doing, older cars, they're doing new tech stuff on older cars, and it's so cool.
Maybe I'll put it in the compressor room out
Right there, they had a purple one convertible used all this time using as a planter.
Really?
You didn't see that?
No.
You drive for years?
No, I haven't.
And then, now it's gone.